Welcome back to Numis Explorer. In the quiet hum of commerce in the year 1980, a seemingly modest coin slipped into the hands of millions of Americans. The 5-cent piece, better known as the Jefferson Nickel, carried not just the image of a founding father, but decades of economic, cultural, and minting history all quietly embedded in its metal. At first glance, the coin looks ordinary. A copper-nickel alloy, a diameter of about 21.21 millimeters. Thomas Jefferson's profile on the obverse, Monticello on the reverse. Yet behind that unassuming appearance lies a story of design choices, minting volume, collector intrigue, and subtle clues that turn the ordinary into extraordinary. If you hold a 1980 nickel in your hand, what you hold is a piece of American numismatic time, a witness to eras of change, and perhaps a hidden treasure just waiting to be understood. The origin story of the Jefferson Nickel goes back to 1938 when it replaced the Buffalo Nickel series. Designed by Felix Schlag, the coin featured Jefferson on the obverse and Monticello on the reverse, both combining artistic representation and symbolic American heritage. By 1980, production had matured, design had long been set, and many millions of these coins had circulated. One of the first mysteries to grasp. Although the date says 1980, many of these coins might look nearly identical to those minted just a year earlier or later, but subtle mint marks, finishing quality, condition, and full steps on the reverse can dramatically change interest for collectors. In this way, the 1980 coin becomes more than pocket change. It becomes a microcosm of minting practice, economic realities, and collector behavior. Let us zoom in on the specifics of the 1980 issue. According to numismatic guides, the 1980p Philadelphia strike of the Jefferson Nickel had a mintage of over 500 million coins, making it very common in circulation. That means for everyday folks, finding a 1980 nickel is nothing unusual. Yet therein lies the suspense for the collector. If it's common, then what gives one special coin from that year an edge? The answer lies in condition, mint mark, and the elusive full steps designation on the Monticello reverse. Crisp detail on the steps of Monticello is something many coins lack due to wear or weaker strikes. For the majority of everyday circulation coins, value is equal to face value, but for the rare crisp ones, the story changes. Now imagine you're retailing through change in your pocket. You pick out a nickel, dated 1980. You glance. No mint mark, Philadelphia, or maybe D for Denver. Most likely, it's just a regular coin, same as millions. But suppose you look closer and you see remarkably sharp detail on Monticello's steps. Every line crisp, every step distinct. That could hint at a full steps variety, much sought by collectors. Guides say coins with full steps from 1980 can command significantly higher premiums. The suspense builds. That seemingly ordinary nickel could hide a collector-worthy feature. Could you have found one in your pocket? It's the sort of treasure hunt that keeps coin enthusiasts excited. Beyond the physical coin, the socio-economic background of 1980 adds depth. The United States was in a time of inflation and economic shifts, energy crises, and changing global dynamics. While those macro forces didn't necessarily dictate the nickel's production directly, they create the backdrop for why coins still mattered, why minting volumes and metal costs were important. Collectors and historians look at these broader contexts to understand why a coin series behaves the way it does. For the 1980 nickel, the large mintage and its common status reflect a period where the nickel was simply a stable unit of circulation, rather than a novelty or limited strike. Turning to value in collecting. As of recent numismatic guides, a 1980D or 1980p Jefferson nickel in circulated condition is worth roughly its face value, 5 cents, because so many exist. But if the coin is uncirculated, mint state, or has the full steps characteristic, values start to climb. Some may fetch tens or even hundreds of dollars depending on condition. Thus, the suspense for the viewer. Check your coins. One could be worth more than you think. This is a powerful motivator in any coin collecting video, and you can emphasize the thrill of discovering a gem in what appears to be mundane change. Let's explore design details that often go unnoticed but matter greatly. On the obverse you see Jefferson facing left, with "In God We Trust" and "Liberty," plus the date, 1980. On the reverse is the Monticello house, plus E pluribus unum, the denomination 5 cents, and the mint mark just to the right of Jefferson's portrait for certain mints. Guides note that the steps leading up to Monticello can be weaker on some coins, or very sharp on others, and that sharpness is where the collector's interest lies. So for your audience, encourage them to look with magnification. Check the wear on Monticello's steps. Check for mint mark D, Denver, or none, Philadelphia. That builds engagement. They become active participants rather than passive viewers. Another fascinating angle, proof coins of the year 1980. The 1980 Steps Jefferson Nickel was struck exclusively as a proof coin at the San Francisco Mint, sold in the 1980 proof set. These coins feature mirror-like fields and have different collector appeal than the circulation strikes. Though they're more abundant than many rare coins, they still create an alternative path for your viewers. If you don't find a rare circulation strike, maybe look for the proof version. Plus, you can highlight how proof sets were marketed, how many were minted, for example. The 1980 proof set had 3,554,806 sets. This adds depth and makes your video richer. Now let's step into lesser-known trivia and suspenseful hooks. Did you know that the cost to produce coins like the nickel has at times exceeded their face value? While not specific to 1980, modern data, for example from 2024, show that the US Mint sometimes spends more than 5 cents to make a 5-cent piece. That irony is perfect for engaging your audience. This coin you hold cost more to make than it's worth in circulation. It adds a layer of intrigue. Maybe the nickel's heyday is slipping. Maybe change is looming. For the 1980 coin, which circulated widely, it's a reminder of the economic realities behind minting. Finally, for your viewers who are collectors, here's the big takeaway. Treat the 1980 Jefferson Nickel as a baseline coin. Most will be common, but if you examine closely under magnification or good light, look for full steps, pristine surfaces, uncirculated condition, correct mint mark, and absence of wear. Those attributes elevate a standard coin into a collectible. Remind them that the thrill is not always in the price tag, but in the discovery. A coin pulled from change that shows crisp detail where most show wear, there's your thrill. Encourage them. Review their pocket change, piggy banks, coin jars, and let the 1980 nickel become a mini adventure.